Welcome to Pointblank. This is our regular weekly show where I give you my own point of opinion on issues around the world. This week, I'm going to be talking about Nigeria and Africa in general, about the Olympics. My name is Patrick Osage. I'd love you to get in touch with me using my Twitter handle, which is PJ Osage, or get in touch with the program using hashtag Pointblank. Again, like I said, I'm going to have a review, a post-mortem of how Nigeria and other African countries performed at the Rio Olympics. There's been a lot of talk about how Nigeria in particular has done in the last two Olympics with one bronze medal from two Olympics. But what about Kenya? We understand that the Kenyan government has basically sacked their National Organizing Committee, which is their NOCs there. Olympic Committee. They've arrested a couple of them. We'll find out exactly what was going on. But hey, this is really the key. We will look at really the issues that that compounded or even confronted the Nigerian delegation to the Rio Olympics. When I come back, because I'm going to take a break right now. When I come back, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Joachim Idada. He's a prominent Nigerian sports analyst, and we'll be talking about what these issues are. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Point Blank this Thursday evening. I'm joined on the phone right now by Mr. Joachim Idada. He's a prominent sports analyst based in Lagos. And with him, I'm going to take you through some of the issues that the African contingent to the Rio Olympics had and what they're all trying to do about it. Almost like a remedy. You know, what's the antidote for the kind of not just preparation, but the outcome that most of these African countries have. So, Mr. Joachim, welcome to Point Blank this Thursday.
My pleasure, Professor Patrick. My pleasure as usual.
Just before, can you just give me an overview? What do you have to really say, just in a few words, about the Olympics generally for Nigeria or maybe for Africa? What's your first opinion? What's the first thing you would say about Africa at the Olympics?
For me, I think the critical question that the sport administration in Africa must ask themselves: do they understand what the Olympics represent? Yes, in the third division of the Olympics is promoting global peace in sport. Is that just the reason why they host an event whose revenue is, as of today, is on the upwards of $5 billion? It is not just a sporting event, it is a business. And so till Africa begins to understand that behind the Olympics is a complex and robust business machinery, then we would have missed the whole idea of what people go to the Olympics to go and compete for.
So are you saying that right now, that Africa, or let's even now kind of focus on Nigeria, are you saying we are missing the bigger point? We're not looking at the bigger picture in this kind of...
We're not looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
True, you've answered the question. We're not looking at the bigger picture. 90% of the revenue that comes from the Olympics in every 4-year cycle is given, 90% is given back to four categories of
okay, it's divided into four parts. I mean, for the development of sports around the world.
Development of sports around the world. Mm-hmm. The NOC, yoga, that the youth, the yoga youth, youth program to develop young talent. The various national Olympic committee receive, and there is a metric. That is used to distribute this money.
So
and
what?
The question I said,
okay.
With the kind of medal haul that America has gotten out of the Olympics, it will be sacrilegious to believe that America will not get a chunk of the revenue that is coming out of the Olympics. And we should begin to look at sport not as something for people who do not have future ambition. They should look at sport in its real sense. That sport is a profession. Sport is a profession. The sports industry has come to stay. The sports industry, and it's a big global business.
Okay, good. I mean,
if Africa understands that, we'll miss it.
Well, good. I mean, you say, look, now, of course, those of us that that talk about really world policies and the things that go around in the world. I mean, I've always seen sports as one of those things that really the African continent, and in particular Nigeria, we neglect. But our neglect of sport is really a misunderstanding of what it can be. But let's leave that aside. And let's go to Kenya. The Kenyan government has arrested a couple of its members of the Olympic Committee for the simple reason that, almost what happened with the Nigerian committee, or the Nigerian contingent too. Some of the equipment they were going to use did not arrive on time, and they found some shenanigans in some of the sponsorship money that they got, Where do you stand on that? Is this a good interference, or is this just one of those, again, that is, out of bounds?
First of all, that's the point I keep on making. If you look at the chapter of the Olympics, it tells you clearly that the Olympics is private. It's something like private sector training. It's private business. So if you see those from the West, we always advocate that they do not want government interference in sport, right? But when you come to Africa, sport is used as a weapon of I would call it social. It's used for social mobilization. So the government uses sport in a great effort to manipulate the people, just like in Nigeria, where you just have almost the government has successfully driven out the private sector out of football. In the 70s, we had a lot of private bodies who had private football clubs, who were Abiola based, Raja based, BCC, Lions of Boko. All of them were there, Flash Flamingos. All of these clubs have all gone out because about that time, the government was
well, look, since you have mentioned football, I mean, let me take you because, look, this is what has happened in the last two Olympics for Nigeria as a country. A bronze medal in two successive Olympics, 2012 and 2016. We've had only one medal, and it's a bronze medal from two. And I think we've had, this time around, we had athletes or a contingent in the 70s, which was about the same in the last time too. Let's take football. The news was all over town that our football under-23 team had to arrive in Brazil a few hours before their first game. We've heard about the story about the issues about no flight. There was flight. There was this plane. It was too small. It was too big. It couldn't fly that far and all that. Nobody really knows the story. I mean, what do you think about that level of preparation for a national team going to an event that is calendared really every 4 years? Everybody knows the dates, and then you cannot get to your place, to the venue, in 4 years? What are your thoughts on that?
There's no way of decorating it or painting it. It's a clear case of incompetence. It's a clear case of incompetence. Starting from the ministry to even the team itself. I asked people, they said, they went to Atlanta. They went to Atlanta for camping. What's the meaning? I don't understand. I don't understand. Is it the money that the government released to them to transport the team? Remember, you see, it's all a complex mix of incompetence, greed, corruption, everything woven into this complex thing to confuse each and every one of us. That at the end of the day, we now want to blame the government for the failure over the national interest or the national image. Because I do not understand that the situation where a team will claim that for them to prepare for a world event, they want to fly all the way to Atlanta. That is where they want to do the preparation. There are certain critical questions they must ask themselves. Did the government approve that trip?
True.
If the government did not approve the trip, then under what banner, under what budget heading was that trip captured?
Those are
Now,
Go ahead.
So under what budget heading was that trip captured? Or was it a situation where they were trying to hand twist or blackmail the government into, or they were trying to box the government into a very difficult situation? We are witness to the basketball team. The basketball team, Nigerian basketball team, came to Atlanta, to Houston, to come and prepare in a warm-up match for the Olympics, and they arrived in Rio. Almost they were the first of the Nigerian teams to arrive in Rio. Then I asked the question, what is the difference? The two of them were both national teams. Why did one get to Rio and the other one not get to Rio?
Well,
there is something going on.
Oh, there's no doubt that there's something
going on, and we must ask the right questions for us to unravel the dark side of all of this misadventure.
Well, okay, since you're on this issue about the dark side of this football team and the adventure they had in Brazil, let me take you to another story that, really befuddling, that the Nigerian under-23 team, I mean, we all saw the letter written by the IOC to our own Nigerian Olympic Committee to desist from using fraudulent accreditation. Now, how did that come about? How did the football team that was duly accredited, all of a sudden, the security measures at Rio found out that somehow we had breached the security by having extra accreditation for people that were not supposed to be on the team or with the team? I mean, this is a question that has gone unanswered. I mean, you are in Lagos there, you are in Nigeria. Is this actually resonating with people? Are people really dying to find out how did this happen and what exactly should really, what should come of this? Because this was close to being the biggest embarrassment really behind the American swimmers' own fabrication of lies. I mean, this was a complete breach of security at the Rio Olympics. I mean, what are the people saying back home there?
We said the American swimmer fabricated a lie. He claimed that it was over-exaggerated. And for that, the swimmer today has lost quite a couple of sponsorships.
Yes.
Right? So there is a consequence for such stupid intervention. Now, we now have a Nigerian team who got involved in criminality.
Yes.
Who got in this criminality, and not only criminality in Nigeria, he went to the international stage where they got involved in a clear case of criminality. Forgery is a crime.
Anywhere in the world.
In Nigeria or anywhere in the world, forgery is a crime. And now today, instead of people to be asking, look, who were involved in it? Which was the government official involved in it? The team, they said the team, our under-23 team said they lost
their accreditation
card. And as a result of that, they issued them new accreditation cards. So you see the ingenuity of Nigerians. Why is it that the only place where we see the ingenuity of a Nigerian is a negative thing? It is worrisome, and it paints our image in a bad light. And I think that it's time we call a spade a spade. I'm telling you, it's time we clean up this mess. It's time we take the Nigerian Sports Commission. It's time we look into the affairs of the Nigerian Sports Commission and begin to ask the right questions. It's unfortunate for me. The way I look at it, it's unfortunate even the media who should be, I call them who should be the soul, who should be the custodian of the ethics and the values of our society. They are deep in this compromise. They are deep in this compromise. As far as they are concerned, provided they get a free flight, provided they get a free ticket, provided they get a free lunch somewhere, they are ready to sell their soul.
Okay.
For how long will we continue like this is the one that bothers me the most.
Well, from all indications, from what you're telling me, nobody seems to be up in kind of arms over this and trying to find out exactly what happened.
Nobody seems to be bothered. Nobody seems to be bothered. Nobody's asking how much did we spend to go to the Olympics to just get one bronze medal.
Mr. Joachim, hold that thought about how much are we spending, or really what is coming to us that we're not even really talking about. So you hold that thought. I'm going to take another quick break. So when I come back, we're going to delve into really money. Where do we get money from? How does money pass through preparations and development of sports in Nigeria in particular? So with me on the line, obviously, still Mr. Joachim. He's going to just take a breather, get something to drink, and we'll join him right back in Lagos once I come back. So we'll take that break right now. Welcome back. This is still Point Blank you're watching this evening. On the phone with me is Mr. Joachim Idada. We're talking about Nigerian sports, African sports at the Rio Olympics. But we've really delved more on the Nigerian issue because God knows that, anybody that knows, we're the largest country in Africa. And when we have issues, it's really big. But as Mr. Idada has been mentioning or talking to us about, nothing seems to be percolating in Nigeria. It seems to be we're trying to sweep things under the carpet. Mr. Joachim, welcome back.
My pleasure.
Look, you did mention that the Nigerian basketball team, the team called the D Tigers, had shown up here in Houston, where I am, and they played a friendly match, a preparatory match for the Olympics against the USA basketball team. Now, to the best of my knowledge, like you said, they arrived in Rio very much on time, and they were ready to go. It looks as if their preparation was outstanding. Yes, they won only one game, but look, that's where Nigerian basketball is right now. But here is what I know. They got there on time because they had been better prepared and better financed. Now, where did they get their financing from? I know from from everything I can gather that the USA basketball paid for the game they came to play here. They were housed, and usually you are told, they ask you, where do you want to fly to when you leave the game? And obviously, Rio was the next place for them. So because they played here on a Monday, they flew out to Rio on Tuesday. And the game started on Friday. So, they were better prepared. Now, I just said they were definitely paid for that game, and part of the contract was to get them to their next point of destination. Now, we know that the Nigerian Olympic Committee or the Ministry of Sports at some time would have budgeted some money to take care of the basketball team. We know that the same thing would have happened with the footballers. We know the same thing would have happened with the track and field team and wrestlers. But we all keep hearing that the problem we've had in 2 successive Olympics now is that there was no money. Money was not released on time, or if money was released at all, it wasn't enough. What are your thoughts? What do you really think is the issue with funding or financing sports in Nigeria?
Okay, let us look at it clearly, especially from best practice, or from what happens in countries where in countries where the Olympics or Games has been a profitable venture. Unlike in countries like Nigeria, where for me, some people see the Olympics as a jamboree. A place just go catch your phone, go around with your flings and everything, enjoy yourself and come back to Nigeria. Now, first of all, it takes between 15 and 20 years just to raise a competition-ready, a medal-hopeful Olympic athlete?
Yes.
Then I ask myself a question. All those people that we take to the Olympics, first of all of them, how many of them are a product of a structured program that is aimed at producing a definite results? I can tell you none, not even one. Do you know why? Because all the funds that come into sports through the Ministry of Sports, all the funds that comes into sports through the Ministry of Sports are used for purposes outside sports. Secondly, the next question I ask myself, how can we ever make a headway out of sports if sports in school, that means collegiate sport, is separated from the professional sports? How can we make a headway when we have a situation where the Ministry of Sports do not have the youth, they don't have the structure in place for youth sports development, because it is schools, it is in the schools where you have the youth.
Well,
and
look,
because they can...
Mr. Joachim, look, I think really everybody in Nigeria, or Nigerians generally, know what the issues are. It is, I don't want to say, in trying to get results out of doing the same thing in the same way over and over again is what is actually befuddling. That is what is funny. It almost, I mean, I know they say that's the definition of insanity. I don't want to say my people are insane, but look, we're trying to get results from doing the same thing over and over in the same unproductive way. I mean, you just mentioned that the length of time it takes to create an Olympic athlete. And I'll give you an example of what and nobody has paid really any serious attention to it. Apart from the problem that Kenya had with its preparation, but Kenya for the first time actually lost out to, Kenya has always been usually number 2 or number 3 on the track and field medal, because they would normally win a lot of medals in steeplechase, in 800, in 1,000, 1,500 meters and all that. But let me tell you what happened in this Olympics that has really gone under the radar, but not for the Americans. 10 years ago, the Americans decided that why can't we win? Why can't we have good long-distance runners?
Runners, yes.
And they decided to plan for it. They actually plotted for it. Listen to the results in this last Olympics. 800 meters men, they won a bronze. 1,500 meters men, they won a gold. 1,500 meters women, they won a bronze. 5,000 men, they won a silver. 3,000 steeplechase men, they won a silver. 3,000 steeplechase women, they won a bronze. Now, this is not bringing race into this or immigration. None of these medal winners that I just mentioned to you are new immigrants in any way. These are not people that have come here from Ethiopia. Or these are all white Americans or Latino. I mean, this is not a Mo Farah. Even Mo Farah actually moved to England at the age of 8. So he's a bona fide Englishman. You know, I'm talking about, these are pure white Americans and Latinos. I mean, these are people that grew up in the American system, were born here. But they decided 10 years ago that they had to go after this, and they have done it.
This structured program, there is a structured program that is put in place to achieve certain clear objectives. And the clear objective is not just to win medal. The clear objective is that this medal translates to dollars.
Maybe we don't know that yet, that, you know, it's supposed to translate to dollars and all that. But look, before I let you go, I want you to really talk about the young South African 400 meters runner that surprisingly won gold I mean, the story is so fascinating because he's also coached by a 70-year-old South African woman. He's not going to school in America. He's in university in South Africa, and he wins gold in really an event that in almost 30 years prior to now was dominated by America and Nigeria.
Yes. You have, now let me tell you, you said he is in a South African university. That is the secret. It is, look, you cannot remove, so when you remove sports out of the school structure, you will get Nigerian kind of results. You understand? Yeah. Because you see, the way the educational structure is built, if you build the sports structure along the educational structure, you will get exceptional results. Even though you see, with the result, this is a test case. I ask a question: how can we have, like in Nigeria, how can we make positive results in sports when even our Nuga, our Nipoga, there is no direction in it? Look, in South Africa, you can see in South Africa that the university system has produced. For me, I'm not too carried away by, it's a 70-year-old woman that coached him. No. What I am more interested in is that the university system produced a gold medal worthy athlete. Okay, no, look. I mean, Joachim, I don't have come out of our university system. That was what I was going to say. I don't think there was even an Olympian that came out from our system this time around. But look, Joachim, we can go on and on. We can go on and on, but because look, the issues of Nigerian sports or the issues relating to Nigeria are so mammoth that it could take forever and ever. But look, I'd really love to thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, and we hope to get to you some other time when need be. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Joachim Idada. My pleasure. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Okay, now. Bye. I'll take another quick break. And when I come back, I will wrap up giving you my point-blank view about the issues of Nigerian sport. Just hang in there. I'll be right back. Welcome back. The Olympic motto is faster, higher, and stronger. And the Olympic creed says that the most important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. Just as the most important thing in life is not the triumph, but the struggle. The essential thing is not to have conquered, but to have fought well. That is the motto and the creed of the Olympics. Nigeria in particular really has forgotten that. Yes, we go participate and we don't win, but our best efforts, our best athletes are never really the ones that we showcase. Now, when I say our best are not the ones we showcase, we haven't really developed good athletes. My last part of the discussion with Mr. Joachim, we talked about a 21-year-old South African born, bred in South Africa, training in South Africa, winning an event that had at one time just been dominated by both Nigerians and the Americans. And here he comes and takes it over from them. This is the second Olympics in a row that an American hasn't won the gold medal. I think the last Olympic was won by a young man also from the Bahamas. Things are changing in sports. And Nigeria needs to understand that. I mean, Mr. Idada talked about fusing sports development through the school system. We've all advocated that for a long time, but that seems to be something that, nobody thinks about. It's unfortunate, but the truth really, and here is my real big time opinion.
Sports is a business. The enterprise of development is also a business. The government can't do it all. We should stop relying on the government to bring up a kid that is 10 because he has what we call talent, which I call attributes. That is left for the kid and his parents and his school to try to bring him up because he can change his mind at 16. We can't spend money we don't have to do things that might not profit us. And those are the things I think we should start to really pay serious attention to. So before I go, one last thing. In order for Nigeria to win medals in coming Olympics, we have to pay close attention to what we have done well in the past and what we're likely to do well in the future. It is obvious that every time we go to the football event at the Olympics, we win a medal. We've been there 3 times, we've won a gold, we've won a silver, and we've won a bronze. This time around, we came 5th in the women's long jump. We've always had good long jumpers, from Abebaku in the men, Joseph Taiwo triple jump, and to Miss Ajunwa, who's a police commissioner, a police officer in Nigeria now. So coming 5th in this thing shows us that we have that tendency to do well in the jumps. So let's put some money in there. Put money in football, put money, when I say football, put money in the football qualification for the Olympics, and put money in things like jumps. I don't see us being able to develop a real good sprinter in the next 4 years. But those are some areas we need to pay attention to in our future development. So thanks for watching Point Blank this Thursday evening. Hope to see you all back here next week. Bye-bye for now.